Today I am making a homemade latte. Thank you to my daughter-in-law for showing me how to do this. She spent some time as a barista. So I start by putting some filtered water into my machine. Oops, I overfilled it a little bit. And then next I'm going to put the grounds in and start her up. So I use organic decaf grounds that I use for my regular coffee, and you can buy special grounds, but why? These are very high quality. Now you're supposed to tamp it down. You can buy a fancy schmancy tamper, but it happens to be that one year somebody gave me a gift set with jellies, and this jelly jar happens to be the perfect diameter to use it to tamp down my grounds once I put it in the little compartment. I'm sure it has a name, but I'm just going to call it the grounds compartment for now. So I have more than enough for my cup of espresso. And the tricky thing when you're putting this in is you have to feel where the groove is and then pull it over. When I first started using this machine, I was notorious for not making sure it was in the groove, and I spilled plenty of coffee grounds. So now I have it ready to go. I'm going to plug it in and put a glass under here and get it started. So I have the glass under to catch my espresso as it brews, and I have turned the dial to the little cup symbol so the steamed water will go through my grounds into my cup. In the meantime, I'm going to put some milk into my handy dandy butter warmer and have it ready to go, so when my espresso is ready I can go right into steam mode. One of the nice things about making it at home is you can control everything going into it. So I use organic almond milk. It's lower in calorie for me, and it also has a nutritional value. So I'm not just wasting calories when I make my espresso. So I've learned through experience that this is about how much milk I need in the bottom of my butter warmer. If I put much more milk in there, it's going to be too much for my lovely latte cup. So I start by putting my sugar, which I use coconut sugar for the lower glycemic index. And I put my sugar in the bottom. My nephew taught me years ago, it just makes the sugar easier to melt when you're putting a hot liquid on top of it. So back to my particular espresso maker with the built-in steam arm. I have this maker which I bought probably 10 years ago, and there wasn't many choices. There was a $300 choice or this choice which was $50. It's worked for me fine, but I bought a Mr. Coffee brand for work for $40, and frankly it's a much better espresso maker. It makes it a whole lot faster, and it's less muss and fuss. The groove where you stick this little grounds holder is much clearer to slide it into. So this is absolutely not an endorsement for this particular machine. I'm just walking you through how to save money from going to Starbucks and make it at home and have complete control over the ingredients that you have in your latte. So as you can see, it's got the glass full. I've learned from experience that that is really two cups that I have made here, and the liquid coming through looks almost clear, so I'm not really getting a concentration of espresso anymore. So now it's time to steam my milk. So again, before I start this, over here there is a little dial, and the part that says steam on it is putting out steam. And you have to be careful if you use such a big container, because it will just make a mess. So another thing that my daughter-in-law taught me is that when you get the milk over 120 degrees, you're actually burning the milk. So I use my little thermometer to Okay, so I have my milk at 120 degrees, and before I do anything else, I stop and I clean my nozzle. I learned that if you don't clean your nozzle right away, first of all, it makes it harder to clean, and you open yourself, if you don't clean it at all, you open yourself to germs and bacterial infection and fungus and stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to clean my nozzle. So I have just a wet paper towel, and I'm cleaning off the big yucky stuff. And then I'm going to take a regular kitchen towel. I'm going to turn on the steam, and I'm going to run it until the steam is making my dish towel too hot for me to handle. And that way it's completely steamed out the end of the nozzle, and I've cleaned all the big stuff off the outside. Whew, that's hot. Okay, so now I'm ready to make my latte. So again, I'm just going to dump my espresso in. I'm going to stir to melt my sugar, because I found that it makes a more uniform sweetness if I stir it first. Plus, I don't like to stir after I steam my milk. Now, because my steamer, my butterer is so big, my steamer, in the process of getting the milk hot, foams it. So I don't have to go back and add foam to it. Now, the more fat content, the better the foam is going to be. So here you have it, a nice homemade latte. I'd like to thank Starbucks for pissing me off with their political stances and feeling the need to involve themselves politically. I'd like to thank my daughter-in-law for showing me how to use my espresso machine. And thank you for watching.